Let's start with household and personal care products. What would you say are the top 5 toxins in household and personal care products to look out for? And what types of products can they be found in? And how does each one negatively impact our health?
Yeah. So the first of the 5 that I'd like to talk about is formaldehyde. So formaldehyde is a strong smelling chemical. It's frequently found in manufactured wood products and adhesives, as well as tobacco. You can also find it in hair straightening products, in fingernail polish, household disinfectants, fabric softeners, pesticides, and glues. It's really omnipresent in that regard. The problem with formaldehyde is that it's a carcinogen. So studies have shown that in high levels, it can cause leukemia, it can cause throat and nose cancer and reproductive health problems. And even in lower doses, it can cause respiratory problems and skin irritation. So the second, I would talk about endocrine disruptors. Another toxin, or rather a group of toxins, they consist of a variety of chemicals that mimic the body's hormones, and they alter the endocrine system and natural hormone production. There's a huge list of endocrine disruptors and products in which they can be found. I'm just going to name a few, such as bisphenol A, BPA. That's found in plastic products and the liners of canned foods, in the plastic liners of canned foods. That's one of the major ones. Another one is called PFAS. So that's the ingredient that makes your pans nonstick. It's also plastic coated in paper packaging. And it's in stain and water resistant materials. So, so your clothing, when it's stained and water resistant, or your fabrics on your couch and your furniture, those are PFAS, which are also endocrine disruptors. There are things like triclosan. Triclosan is found in personal care products with antimicrobial properties like liquid soaps. That is also an endocrine disruptor. So the problem with this is they've been linked to lower fertility rates, increased risk of cancers, and problems with neurological and immune systems in humans, as well as in wildlife. So they really aren't good at all for us. Third, I would talk about nanomaterials. So nanomaterials are materials that have at least one dimension less than 100 nanometers. They're so small they can't even be seen by conventional laboratory microscopes. They're found naturally in the environment, but in the past couple decades, they're now engineered by humans, and they're found in numerous products like sunscreens, cosmetics, and stain-resistant clothing. So these ingredients include titanium dioxide, zinc oxide, and nanosilver. And with nanomaterials, there isn't much known about the potential effects on our health from them. So research thus far has shown that exposure to nanomaterials can lead to lung inflammation, but in fact, there could be much more that has yet to be known that affects us. Fourth, I would say that pesticides are a toxin we should definitely be aware of. We're all familiar with pesticides, I would say. It's basically chemicals that are used to kill unwanted plants or animals. We're talking about fungicides that control mildew and weeds and mold. Herbicides control undesired weeds. Insecticides for killing insects, disinfectants for killing bacteria and germs, and then other substances that kill mice and other rodents. With pesticides, research has suggested that children in particular may be susceptible to developmental issues from and other adverse effects from pesticide exposure. And the fifth and final item I wanted to touch on is stryrene. Now, stryrene is a chemical found in latex, in synthetic rubber, and in the creation of styrofoam and building insulation. So it's also a byproduct, interestingly, that's emitted into the air when operating photocopiers and laser printers. And it's also found in cigarette smoke. So yes, yeah, totally, totally interesting, and found in many places you wouldn't expect it to be. So styrene is known, particularly through styrofoam, to leach into food and drink. And research has shown that styrene increases the risk of cancers like leukemia, lymphoma, pancreatic, and esophageal cancers. It affects our nervous systems negatively and can lead to respiratory and gastrointestinal issues. So yeah, there really are quite a few toxins out there that we need to be aware of, Christy.